The following video is a production of EB Reviews, The Flash Season 5, how it parallels Arrow Season 5. Let's get into it. Sup YouTube, this is Elijah here with EB Reviews, and let me welcome you to another video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the parallels between The Flash and Arrows when it comes on a per season basis. And I'm also curious if this will play a role in Season 5 and maybe the back half. Well, we're already in the back half, but the finale and later episodes of Season 5 of The Flash, will they actually be very good, just like in Arrow Season 5? Before we jump into that, we got to look at the parallels between the seasons. What I mean by that is you compare Arrow Season 1 to Flash Season 1, Arrow Season 2 to Flash Season 2, etc. And we'll start with the seasons that began it all, which is the Season 1s. If you've been paying attention to these seasons, you'll notice that they have similarities that are very integral to the plot of the overall season. In Season 1, the nemesis or villain or antagonist that the hero has to face is always a mirror image of the protagonist. So you see in the first season of Arrow, his nemesis was the Dark Archer. For the Flash, it was the Reverse Flash. This villain was responsible for the death of one of the protagonist's parents, and they seek on getting revenge on them once they find out that that was the case. When you take a look at Season 2, you will see that the villains are already strengthening themselves with some kind of drug. For Zoom, he strengthened himself with the V6, V7, V8, and V9. And with Deathstroke, he strengthened himself with the Mercurial serum. Also in both these seasons, the villain kills the other protagonist's parent within the season, and it plays a big role in sparking the protagonist's motivation to move forward with the plot. What happens at the end of both of these Season 2s is the protagonist and their love interest both have mutual feelings for each other, as opposed to one of them being interested and the other one not so much being interested. In Arrow's case, Oliver didn't have any feelings for Felicity, but Felicity always had feelings for him. And towards the end of Season 2, they start foreshadowing that they both like each other. For the Flash has always loved Iris, but Iris supposedly didn't feel that same way about him until in Season 2 when it was set up that they both had feelings for each other. When we go into Season 3, you will notice that the villain is obsessed with having the protagonist replace them in some form or way. In Arrow Season 3, Ra's al Ghul wanted Oliver to become the new Ra's. And in the Flash Season 3, Savitar wanted Flash to replace him by being dark, etc. It's also important to note that in the Season 3, in both cases, the protagonist only lives because of the love interest in some form or fashion. As you recall in Season 3, when Oliver defeated Ra's al Ghul, he was shot and fell off a ledge. He only lived because Felicity managed to get in the Atom suit and saved him. And when you look at the Flash Season 3, Savitar was about to kill the Flash after he spared him, only to be shot in the back by Iris. This plays a role in both protagonists being able to live because of their sole love interest. Moving on to Season 4, you notice that the monogamy of having a certain type of villain has been broken in both these cases. With the Flash, they finally decided to break the monotony of always having a speedster villain, and they had a non-speedster as the main threat that Team Flash had to deal with. And this always led to plot holes where they could have potentially defeated him, but they didn't because of whatever reason. When you look at Arrow Season 4, all the villains that he faced were overall grounded and possible for Oliver to take down. But Damien Darhk had this magical component which stopped him from defeating him. This led to several encounters where Damien Darhk could have easily killed Oliver and his team, but he didn't because they never really gave any clear reasons. He just didn't. Another note on Seasons 4 is the overall Big Bad's plan and how it was overall more apocalyptic than the other plans of the other Big Bads. With the exception of Zoom in Season 2 of The Flash, all the Big Bad's plans were directly related to either Central City or Star City, bringing about havoc or destroying it. In the Thinker's case and Damien Darhk's case, their plan was more threatening on a worldwide phenomena. Damien Darhk wanted to nuke the planet in some strange sense of rebooting civilization, so that it could be rebuilt in his image. And the Thinker wanted to more or less do the same thing by removing the intelligence of everyone on the planet so that he could so-called enlighten them. This made their plans overall more threatening on a bigger scale as opposed to being more narrow and threatening towards just the city. It's also important to point out that in both of these seasons, there was a major moment where the protagonist could have defeated the villain about halfway through, maybe closer to the end in some cases. When we look at Arrow Season 4, about halfway through Season 4, Oliver could have killed Damien Darhk once he asked for Vixen's help, and they successfully managed to break that artifact. In the Flash Season 4, the Elongated Man and Flash have a chance to kill DeVoe, the Thinker, once he takes over all the bust metahumans. By using that instrument that Wells had came up with, they were able to get him vulnerable, and they could have defeated him or killed him, etc., but they didn't because of some sense of moral righteousness. It's also important to know in both seasons, someone major dies only to come back in some shape or form. With Arrow, it was Laurel, and she actually did die, but who's on the cast now? It's Black Siren, which is basically the same actress, and turning her more into the same character. For the Flash Season 4, it was the Elongated Man, which he ended up coming back because they managed to save him from the Thinker in the end. So where does this leave us for Season 5 of The Flash? When we look at all these factors, if the trend is following the seasons, then perhaps The Flash Season 5, the ending and towards the later episodes will actually start getting very good, like in Season 5 of Arrow. Let's look at the similarities. In both Season 5 so far, the team is always bloated. Remember in Arrow Season 5, they literally had Wild Dog, Black Canary, Ragman, Spartan. The size of Team Arrow was just huge, so much to the fact that they actually had to write Ragman off because having so many vigilantes started to diminish the threat of Prometheus. Now look at the Flash Season 5. They've had several chances to capture Cicada, but because of reasons, i.e. the story has to last X amount more episodes, he keeps getting away when clearly they have Killer Frost, Vibe, Elongated Man, Flash, and now Noir to be able to stop him in some form or fashion if they would just use their heads. Both the overall backstory of the Big Bads in Season 5 were completely changed from their comic book counterparts to match that of the protagonist to make this more personal. In Prometheus' case, if you look at his backstory in the comics, it is completely different from what it is in the show. It was literally redesigned to make him personal for Oliver. His father was murdered by Oliver during the time and period in Season 1 where he is more or less a serial killer hunting people down on the list. And when you look at Cicada, it's more or less the same thing. In the comics, he was a preacher who regularly abused his wife. Eventually she died, and he wanted to bring her back to life after he got struck by lightning. He put together this cult, and he felt a connection to the Flash. I'm not going to go deep into it, but you can obviously tell that's very different from the show. The Flash literally created Cicada by destroying that satellite, and this put him on a thirst for revenge against all metahumans, and lately it's been getting more personal between him and the Flash. And that leads to the next central theme that is causing these two seasons to be very comparable. In the most recent episode of The Flash got so angry at Cicada he almost killed him. And it looks like they're trying to make this personal between the Flash and Cicada the same way that it was very, very personal between Oliver and Prometheus in Arrow Season 5. So, where does that leave us now? Perhaps it will start picking up in the later episodes because Arrow Season 5 was okay and it started getting a little boring towards the middle. But the climax and like the last 9 to 10 episodes were amazing because they could fully start fleshing out this personal story. Is that where the Flash is heading? Only time will tell. I personally do like Season 5, but it's not as good as some of the previous seasons of the Flash. It's not as good as Season 1 and 2, but it is better than Seasons 3 and 4, which have arguably been the worst seasons of the Flash. So right now it's just in the middle, i.e. okay. Does it mean it's going to follow the trajectory of Arrow and become great in the back half or the later episodes? Only time will tell. I'd love to hear y'all's views on that. Leave your comments below. If you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe if you're new, and share it. This EB Reviews, signing out.